Hi, my name is Trina, or Nana Trine, or Katrina, or whatever you'd like to call me. And I'm going to start off today by sharing a teaching that I made notes of at the Sounds True Self-Acceptance Summit a few years ago. And we were very fortunate to have Elizabeth Gilbert as one of our teachers that day. And her lesson was entitled Test Everything Against Love. And that really inspired me to join in and to take notes. So these are my takeaways from Elizabeth Gilbert's lesson. And I just want to share them with you now before we go into our mindfulness exercise for today. The first lesson was never stop learning. Always retain a willingness to learn something new. And there is something new for us to learn, not just every day, but all the time in every day, several things. At the end of the day, if you're writing in your journal, maybe have a little section that says things that I learned today. And sometimes that might fill a couple of pages, and sometimes it might be just one little minuscule thing, or it could be a quote that you heard, something that you read. But there's always something new to learn from. And we can carry on doing that. There used to be a belief that once we reach the age of 25, and then later on that was converted to 40, that we stop learning. Our capacity to learn, our brain's ability to forge new pathways and learn new skills and ideas diminished to the point that there wasn't really much left to learn. So as I approach my 68th year, I'm here to tell you that I've learned something new every single day, and I continue to do so. And I'm just reading at the moment a book by the late Betty Friedan, author of The Feminine Mystique, and this is called Fountain of Age. We often talk about the Fountain of Youth, and this is called the Fountain of Age. And she looked at a lot of the research that's been done around aging. And of course, we've made massive, as a species, we've made massive inroads into understandings of our brain and how our brain works, and neuroplasticity and the neural pathways that we build. And apparently, it's official that we can continue growing and learning until we die. So for the rest of our lives, we can be prepared to keep learning. It's never too late. You're never too old. So that's one of the big lessons. And I used to have a poster on my wall that said, "Cultivate beginner's mind." Don't behave as though you know everything. You don't. Just accept that you don't know everything, and that there's still stuff to know. And so start from the beginning. Learn from the beginning. Again. Over and over. Cultivate beginner's mind with an open mind. A beginner's mind is an open mind. It's a mind that's prepared to learn new lessons. When you fall down, climb right back up again, straight away, as soon as you can, as soon as you're able to. I learned this lesson the hard way, and I never did actually climb back up again on the bicycle, after I fell off the bicycle when I was 12 or 13 and ended up in hospital with a fractured skull and several cuts and bruises all over the place, and I was in hospital for quite a long time. It was a long time ago. It was when the film Oliver came out, and all my friends were going to the cinema to see Oliver, and I was in hospital. And for a while that had a kind of feeling of novelty about it, and I was a bit of a celebrity, in my family. I was in hospital, and I was getting gifts of sweets and fruit, and things, and then that kind of wore off when there was a lot of things going on, and it was the summer, and I wasn't out there enjoying it with everybody else. But anyway, I didn't get back up onto the bike. And at that stage in my life, I used to cycle a lot. I used to cycle for miles out into the countryside. I lived in the countryside on my own, and go off on these little journeys, excursions, adventures into the countryside. And so it was a big loss. But I didn't have the confidence, and I didn't regain the confidence to cycle again. So as soon as you can, get back up, get back into the saddle. And this builds muscles of resilience and fortitude and staying power. This is Elizabeth Gilbert's lesson. So I get knocked out and I get up again. So whatever it is, you feel like you've failed, you feel like a failure, you feel like there's no point carrying on. There always is a point carrying on. Keep going. You don't fail until you stop trying. So keep going, keep at it. Holding on to secrets, not talking about things, categorizing things as too difficult or painful or shameful to talk about makes you sick. You store all these things up in your body. They're toxic to you. Nothing is too shameful, too difficult, that the light of fresh air won't do you good. Get it out there in the light. Light can illuminate the darkness. So share it as soon as you can. Find a community that you can share it in. There's many of them now that we can engage with other people online. There's many different places we can go in different situations in our lives. And I've been part of a few online communities where people are maybe struggling with similar difficulties, similar problems. I tend to agree with Eckhart Tolle here, and I tend to call problems situations. My husband calls them opportunities. And if you've been diagnosed with an illness, that any illness apparently, you'll find a community online of people who have been the same diagnosis as you do, and find that you're not alone. If you're struggling with an addiction and you're seeking to kick an addiction out of your life, lots of communities that you can join where other people are doing likewise. You're not on your own, and they're struggling in the same way as you are, and they've found maybe different strategies for coping with that, and then they share them with each other. It's a wonderful world. It's full of people with lots and lots of wisdom, and what we need to do is tap into and share that wisdom, put it out there for everybody else to share. So don't make yourself sick by hoarding up secrets and difficult things. Talk about them. And before anything else, if you're not ready to talk about them, start writing them down. Start writing letters to yourself. Get yourself a notebook and start writing yourself letters to yourself about it. Get them down on paper. Writing is a great form of therapy, communication with your own self. Tell yourself about them, these things that are bothering you, these things that are too shameful to tell anybody else. You don't know anything until you know. So don't beat yourself up about things that happened before you knew. things that happened in the past before you learned that particular lesson, before you knew how dangerous that was, or before you knew how toxic that might be to you. Don't beat yourself up that in the past, when you didn't know, you sometimes got it wrong, because you didn't know. There's a lovely, I can't remember who wrote it now, but there's this lovely little thing of where the Eskimos asked the missionaries, if we didn't know that something was wrong, would we still have committed a sin? And the missionary said, well, no, not if you didn't know. No, that wouldn't be a sin. And the Eskimo said, well, why did you tell us then? I think that's lovely. I wish I didn't know. I was quite happy in my ignorance carrying on there in some cases. When you didn't know that there was an alternative way to be, an alternative way of looking at things, or going about things, or whatever it is, don't beat yourself up about it. When you know better, as Maya Angelou has said, now that we know better, we'll do better. We did our best at the time. We always did our best at the time, in whatever circumstances that we were in. But now that you know better, do better. This is a message from you to you as well, and from me to me, and from all of us. You deserve the same love and compassion as you extend to everyone else. You are not an exception. You're one of the circa 7.5 billion people, keep changing that number, living on the planet. Everything that you feel, says Elizabeth Gilbert, is a measure of your belonging to the human family. That is to say that everything that you feel is not exceptional. It's common. It's common to all of us, or many of us. Many of us maybe haven't experienced what you've experienced yet, and so have yet to feel certain things that you felt, but they're not exceptional. There's nothing new under the sun. It's been felt before, or it is being felt by somebody else right now. The same shame, the same kick yourself in the butt about it, whatever, or the same sadness, the same difficulty, the same struggle. You're definitely not alone. There's no wrong emotions. All emotions and feelings, even yours, are valid. That's another don't beat yourself up message, isn't it, really, if I ever heard one? So stop beating yourself up. Then consider, and maybe get your notebook out for this one as well, maybe just consider, who is the author of the shoulds? You should have done that. Oh, you should have done that earlier. It's too late now. You should have done that earlier. I should never have. Should. I should be more loving. I should be more caring. I should be cleaner. The house should be cleaner. The garden should be tidier. I must tell someone about that. All your shoulds. Who is saying them? Who's saying the shoulds? Pause, listen, and identify the author of those shoulds. It might be a parent, or a grandparent, or a teacher, an ex, boyfriend, girlfriend, sister, brother, friend, so-called. Who is it that's telling you you should? You will often find that it's your own thinking. It's based on assumptions that you make about things in your own head. Your own mind can be your worst enemy. Definitely your most judgmental one. When other people slap you down and hurt you, that's an expression of their own hurt. Hurt people hurt people. And free people. By sharing the key that unlocks their freedom. Happy people make other people happy. By smiling at them, acknowledging them, being there for them. Culture and trauma hold us back. Conditioning is a very powerful thing, especially when it's accompanied by a traumatic experience. Traumatic memories of violence, for instance, humiliation, rejection. The body keeps the score. Now that's the title of a book, and I can't tell you now who's the author of that book. But the body holds the score. The body keeps hold of it. And you may not remember who it was that rejected you or humiliated you when you were perhaps a small child, before you were making lasting memories. You might not remember where it comes from. But be prepared to walk away from the negative messages of the past and head instead in the direction of your heart's desire. Find your bliss. And follow your bliss as best you can, when you can. And don't say, oh, I should have followed my bliss today, on days that it didn't quite work out for you. We'll start again tomorrow. We'll wake up, best foot forward, and start again. We can only live it one day at a time. We can't start living the rest of our lives forever. Right here and now. Here and now we can live with what we have here and now. So step away from the shame and those messages, wherever those messages were coming from. Dismiss them. That person hasn't got the power anymore. Take the power now yourself. Take the power into your own hands. Other people's criticisms is the price you pay in order not to pay an even higher price. Let's ponder that one. Other people's criticism. What do people criticize people for? They wear too much jewelry. They wear too much makeup. Their clothes, their appearance. They talk too loudly. They laugh too loudly. All of these criticisms, the way you live your life, your sexuality, your religious beliefs or non-religious beliefs, the way you parent your children, the way you eat your food, the fact that you eat food that they don't eat. All of these criticisms are the price that you pay so that you don't have to pay an even higher price, which is your freedom. Freedom to be you, your freedom to self-expression, freedom to accept yourself and be your authentic self. If you take on board other people's criticism, then you can't continue to be you. You're going to have to stop wearing your hair that particular way, or whatever it is, eating that particular food. Other people's criticism, other people's opinion of you, actually, in my opinion, is none of your business. That's their thing. They're carrying their own conditioning with them when they look at you. They might even be jealous of the fact that you have the courage to live your life the way you live it. And it's hard for them to see you doing that. Getting away with it. Now, the title of Elizabeth Gilbert's talk was Test Everything Against Love. And so she introduced the test. And this is the test. Are you ready for the test? Imagine the most compassionate, non-judgmental person you can think of. And write to them. Get that notebook out, pick your pen up and write to them. Tell them all of it. Everything. All the detail. In your spiral of shame, guilt, self-loathing. Tell them the lot, warts and all. No holds barred. Pour it all out and then listen to their response. Carefully now. So you put yourself in the position of that person reading your letter to them and write back. Imagine yourself writing back. So that's my sharing of what I learned from Elizabeth Gilbert. I think, yes, Elizabeth Gilbert, Eat, Pray, Love. We're going to go on now to do a little bit of mindfulness practice. So this is a body and breath meditation. Don't worry if you've never meditated before, anything like that. Just make yourself comfortable. Have a go. Try it out. Learn something new every day. It only takes about 8 minutes. So make sure you're comfortable. It's a good idea to keep your back straight. And as it's only 8 minutes, maybe not rest your back against the chair, but actually sit upright so that your back is straight. Stephen Levine refers to the spine as the antenna of awakening. And so keep the spine straight. Some people say, imagine a little thread at the top of your head and you're pulling you up. Keeping you straight, straighten your neck out. You can do this sitting up in your chair, on a cushion, lying on your back. Whatever position is the most comfortable for you. Just make sure your back is straight and not stiff or rigid. Hold your body lightly. And this meditation will help to focus your mind, and as with other practices that we'll be doing, focus you on a single object. This time we're going to focus on the breath. This mindful meditation will allow you to simply be and look within yourself with mindfulness and calmness. Allow yourself to switch from a usual mode of doing to a mode of non-doing, of simply being. So close your eyes or lower your gaze, blur your gaze to some extent, blur your focus, and allow your body to become still. Bring your attention now to the fact that you are breathing, becoming aware of the movement of your breath as it comes into your body and as it leaves your body, without manipulating the breath in any way or trying to change it. Simply being aware of it and of the sensations associated with breathing. Observe the breath deep down your body, feeling the abdomen as it expands gently on the in-breath and it falls back towards your spine on the out-breath. Be totally here at each moment with each breath, not trying to do anything, not trying to achieve anything, simply being with the breath, giving full care and attention to each in-breath and to each out-breath as they follow one another in a never-ending cycle and flow, bringing vital oxygen to your whole body. You will find that from time to time your mind will wander off into thought. When you notice that your attention is no longer here with the breathing, then without judgment, gently bring your attention back to the breath and ride the wave of the breathing. Fully conscious of the duration of each breath, from the moment to moment, breath to breath, as it enters your body through the nostrils and as it leaves your body again, ready for the next breath in a never-ending flow. Each time you find your mind wandering away from the breath, gently bring it back to the present, back to the moment to moment observing of the flow of your breathing. Using your breath as an anchor to focus on the present moment. Whenever you find that your mind is becoming absorbed or reactive, using your breath to allow you to tune into a state of relaxed awareness and stillness. And as you observe your breathing, you may find that you're becoming aware of sensations in your body. As you maintain awareness of your breathing, see if it's possible to expand the field of your awareness so that it includes a sense of your body as a whole. As you sit here, feeling your body from head to toe and becoming aware of all the sensations in your body, so that now you're observing not only the flow of your breathing, but the sense of your body as a whole breathing organism. Being here with any feelings or sensations that come up at any moment without judgment, without reacting to them. Being fully here, fully aware, totally present with whatever your feelings are and with your breath. And the sense of your body as a whole. And again, whenever you notice that your mind is wandering off, just bringing it back to your breathing, back to your body as you sit here, not going anywhere, not doing anything, simply being. Simply sitting moment to moment, being fully present, fully with yourself. Re-establishing now your awareness on the body as a whole and on the breath as it moves in and out of the body. Coming back to an awareness of the fullness of each in-breath and the fullness of each out-breath. If you find yourself at any point drawn into a stream of thinking and you notice that you're no longer observing the breath, just use your breathing and the sense of your body to anchor you and stabilize you in the present moment. Be with your breathing from moment to moment, sitting still, looking for nothing and being present to all, just as it is, just as it unfolds, being right here, right now. Complete, human, whole. As the practice comes to a close, you might want to give yourself credit for having spent this time nourishing yourself in a deep way by dwelling in this state of non-doing, in this state of being, for having intentionally made time for yourself to simply be who you are. And as we move back into the world, allow the benefits of this practice to expand into every aspect of your life. Now you might want to stretch out your hands, twiddle your toes a bit, Sometimes I like to stretch up my arms. Have a bit of a stretch. I think, well done. Well done, Trina, for giving yourself this time. Namaste.